Good evening, folks. How we doing? Rich, long time no see.
Yeah, about what, 24 hours?
I don't even know if it's been that long.
Yeah.
Anyway, how we doing? How we doing tonight? We gonna have a special guest by the grandkid tonight, or is he already gone?
No, nah, grandkid's already gone for the night. He was running around the house earlier, chasing everybody around and just being that typical 3-year-old, renegade kind of thing. And uh, but yeah, he's a pistol, man, boy. He's gonna be one of those kids that's involved in everything. So if it has athleticism to it or some sort of activity to it, he's gonna be in it.
Well, tonight, Rich, we are joined by no shy guy to this channel for sure. I've been on his channel before. Good time talking with the crew over there. I'm gonna bring him in right now. No stranger to this channel, like I said. Um, JT, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Adam? Hey, Big Rich. Good to be with you guys too. We've been trying to connect for a while now. How about it, Adam?
Yeah, you got a new shift at work or something that really threw off the whole
Yeah,
like being able to talk live stuff, right?
yeah. Made Wednesdays rough. The boy wonder now. He's in basketball seasons too, so we just got back from open gym on that. But yeah, man, good to be with you guys. Coming off a great win. Was looking precarious there against Commanders there for a while, but yeah, pulled it together, and some immediate signings, contributing right off the bat. Mike Williams, Preston Smith delivering, and thank goodness too, because it looks like Highsmith's going to be out for a while. But here we go, guys, right into the heat of this second phase of the year. This hot schedule, the
I
AFC North kitchen, man. So here we
I
go.
have
Ravens week.
I have called the schedule pretty much so far to where it is, and this is where I think that the mediocre catches up to them. I think the second half of the schedule is going to be brutal. Now, a lot of stuff has transformed. Obviously, JT, Rich has his thoughts of why we're going to beat Kansas City on Christmas Day. Um, and obviously, the Browns, which Jameis Winston is going to show up. Is it going to be the interception Winston or the bomber Winston? Um, a lot of good questions. Are we going to be able to stop Lamar this weekend? We always have. It's always been a guaranteed, but not every week is guaranteed. We pretty much own Lamar. He turns into that little pink and that little red and yellow car from Fisher Price instead of being the Lamborghini against us for some reason. I don't know why. Um, Obviously, Deontay Johnson's in the talk this week, so there is a lot to talk about tonight. But yeah, go ahead. Anyone.
Definitely a lot of connections there. But
I was, and we did have a signing today. I forgot. I didn't want to interrupt you. Jamal Agnew did re-sign with us today. From is he on the roster now
Jacksonville.
or still on the practice squad?
No, they put him on the roster, and that's a good signing, man. That's more speed in the kick game, and more speed in the
Shout out
receiving
there,
game.
Eddie.
hey,
Shout
Mean
out
Green.
there,
Yeah, thanks, man. Mean Green in
There
the
you go.
house. Look out.
Is that one of your main guys?
Yeah, yeah. Good guy.
Go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry.
He keeps us straight.
No. I was just saying, Agnew's going to be another one of those supplemental players that he's not going to be a star in any position, but he's a heck of a return guy. He's a really good guy catching the ball out of the backfield. He's going to be, and one thing a lot of people don't realize about him that he did do some in Jacksonville is he can play corner. He played some corner whenever Jacksonville was just decimated. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. He played a couple of games at corner. So, that's a versatile guy that you bring in that you're probably paying, a bag of shells.
Yeah, and some peanuts.
I did
There
not
you
see
go.
what the contract was, so I don't know the details on
Probably vet minimum.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that we've added, that the Steelers have added, I mean, when you look at, of course, Williams makes immediate impact last week.
Yes.
Smith makes an impact. Whenever they signed Smith, I just kind of went, "Oh, really?" Uh, because you didn't expect Ty Smith to be out for a sustained period of time, but you find out that he is. Which, if this guy could just stay healthy, man, I promise. If this guy could just stay healthy, he's all pro talent.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
all pro talent. If he could just stay healthy, but you got Smith. It helps. I think that helps Cam Hayward more than anybody else having
On that side, yeah.
Smith in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly does. And then something I wanted to kind of throw out there too is I think the timing was perfect on this for the warm up against Washington and Jaden Daniels versus coming into it. I mean, they did a great job scheming, and we had a guy on who's is a Washington fan, a long-term friend of mine. He's a Caps fan too, but I didn't realize he was a Commanders fan as well too. But pointed out that we did a great job scheming against him, against the run, and contained him quite well. And I think the timing of that going into it and having Justin Fields running the scout team for practice this week as the Lamar really sets them up nicely. I think they can kind of tweak some of the problems they might have had on defense. Tell you what, the guy scares me the most, though, is Flowers. He's just he's quick, he's rangy, he's got great hands, good possession receiver, and him and Lamar have a pretty good connection going there too. So, and of course, you got to worry about Henry. We've seen this defensive line get gashed for first down runs. I mean, these guys didn't put up. I was surprised at the low amount of yardage that they did get on the ground compared to what it seemed as you're watching the game, because it seemed like when they did need a run for a first down, they were able to get it. But overall, to hold Eckler, the leading rusher, to 44 yards, and the whole team to the amount of yards that they did was pretty damn good. Week in and week out now, you're seeing this defense.
I get scared. I brought this up a couple times. Like, we watched Rico Dowdle scatter for 80 yards against us. We watched was that Dobbins for the Chargers go for 110 or something against us? And,
yeah.
And Rico and Derrick Henry is just a different animal.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be able to contain both?
Well, but have you ever noticed that the Steelers defense shuts down the higher echelon guys better than they do the lower guys? For whatever reason, I couldn't tell you what it is, but look at, especially like a quarterback. They perform better against Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar than they do against Flacco and Justin Herbert and guys like that. It's the same thing with the running game. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Henry has the same kind of game he had this past week. I think he ended up with 62, 63 yards. Then he had that 1 yard touchdown. But I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if that's what he ends up with. I kind of agree with JT a little bit about Zay Flowers, but if Porter can contain him, hopefully shadow him, then it puts pressure on a couple other guys. The one to me that really has me kind of really thinking is Rashad Bateman, because he's made some really, really strong plays this season when Flowers wasn't doing as much as he normally does. Before they brought in anybody else, Rashad Bateman was really that number 2 guy and was putting up some really good numbers. Hasn't done as much the last week or last couple of weeks. But I think Rashad Bateman's the guy I'd be more afraid of than even Zay Flowers.
Can't really argue that point. You know, this is going to be labeled as one of those smash mouth games once again, too. But I like our chances through the air against this defense. I like the way the Steelers just seem to have Lamar's number. I think the one time they beat us in the last 8 games, was it Huntley or didn't he come in? I forget, but
Yeah, it was something.
yeah. So I mean, I like our odds. I think we're in his head. I really do. I think we're in Jackson's head. It's been tough sledding for the last several years, the Ravens against the Steelers, and quite frankly, I mean, they don't scare me. You know, with Henry, the addition of Henry this year, yeah, they're good. Lamar is passing much better this year than he has too. But I think the scheme that the Steelers used last week will continue on to this week. They had somebody hitting Daniels every snap or getting close to him, and they had somebody chipping the edge too, just making sure or picking up that running back too in the option. So they pretty much had it covered. So with that though, you're going to have some holes in the middle if you miss that gap. So and that's where Steelers kind of got hurt there too. But good support in second level though. And then with Sutton back too, I like the addition of Sutton coming back in. He had at least one impactful play last week as well too, just coming in fresh like that.
Now, JT, you mentioned through the air, you think we're going to be able to air it out. Well, just to let everyone know, Cal Hamilton has not practiced yet. And as we saw last week when Cal Hamilton went down, Cincinnati was able to very well pick this defense apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just went for 2 for some ungodly reason to try and win it regulation. And I didn't understand that. I didn't catch anything. Was something wrong with McPherson or their kicker? I have no idea. I didn't understand that call at all.
Cincinnati's defense wasn't stopping them at all.
No.
Right. Well,
and I'm sure Cincinnati. Well, but Cincinnati. Well, I'm sure that Cincinnati was looking at, okay, if they get the coin toss, the game's over because they're going to march right down the field and punch it in. We haven't stopped anything, and you know, if that's, I'm sure that's what they were thinking. Plus, you know, why not? You're at that point in time. You're in a why not situation. But to me, there's not one of the 3 teams in the NFC North that scares me that the Steelers are going to play right now. Before the season started, I was really concerned about Baltimore. I was concerned about Cincinnati and had a little bit of concern about Cleveland. I'm not worried about Cleveland one drop. I'm 50-50 on Cincinnati and I'm 50-50 on Baltimore. I was originally looking at the Steelers conceivably going 3-3 at best in the division. Right now, I could see them going 4-2 in the division. I think they could sweep Cleveland, split Baltimore, split Cincinnati at worst.
Yeah, at worst. Last year, 5-1 in the division.
Right. The big thing they've got to look at is keep staying healthy.
Yeah.
That as long as they stay healthy, this is a top 3 or 4 team in the AFC.
Well, they said Herbeck's looking good. He was a full participant in practice today, and so it looks like he'll be slated to play too. So those guys will still have somebody to spell them. Herbeck's still raw, still development, just like Peyton Wilson too. Another guy back there. Just seems like his rookie year, still kind of struggling to get that play and get in the right position at times. Saw him out of position a lot. I think you see a lot of Landon Roberts in this game, which I'm happy. Hey, Larry. What's up, Larry? Give me a hat, man.
You're getting a lot of love. You're getting a lot of love out there tonight, buddy.
Those are regulars, yeah, checking in.
What
Larry
kind of
stops
hat
in to
are you
visit
talking
every
about?
once in a while too.
What kind of hat is he gonna get you?
Oh, he'll take anything you get him. I think he has 3 Steeler hats that we sent him alone. He says he never got them, but he has them.
I wrote the addresses on them. Perfect. There it is. Get me a hat.
Give me a hat. There it is. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, Larry. Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Mean Green. So what?
I appreciate everybody.
Did anyone see the news coming out of Indianapolis today?
Did
That
not.
Richardson's back at starter.
Oh, is that the news?
That was the news, but Peyton Manning is scheduled to be the coach next year.
What?
Yeah, I read this today. I was like, what?
Wow, interesting.
I figured, Rich, you would have heard about that one.
I didn't see or hear about that one. That's one that got past me and everybody that I know and talk to. That just doesn't make any sense. I don't know that Peyton wants to do that. It may have just been one of those deals where everybody's talking about Prime going to the Cowgirls. Well, okay, let's put something else out there about one of our legends coming and coaching for us. Shane Steichen's not doing a horrible job. It's just that his quarterback play is brutal. Richardson is not doing what he should have been doing as a number 4 pick overall in the draft. He's just not. And, unfortunately for them, Flacco couldn't bring the Flacco magic that he had in Cleveland to Indy.
Right. I just wondered if you guys heard that news. I had to get it off my chest.
Well,
I would feel better about Andrew Luck being their coach than Peyton Manning.
I'm interested to see the Patrick Queen matchup here.
Yeah.
Not a lot being said about it, but I'm curious to see. He really came on pretty strong last week. Number of different tackles. I think a couple for a loss. He was all over the place, covering passes.
I think he's getting more comfortable.
Yeah, I think so, Adam. I think so.
It's
good to
he's been
see.
quiet. He's been really quiet the first 8 games. He really was.
That's kind of what we've been looking for all along.
He's learning a new system.
I have Trenton Simpson on my fantasy team. We are doing IDP, and I knew not to let him go once Patrick Queen left. See, they already knew that Simpson was going to be ready to fill in for Queen, so they didn't have to pay him. Baltimore knew that, but yeah, he's definitely looked a hell of a lot better last week for sure. Excuse me, my voice is kind of kicked today. But yeah, he's definitely coming along. Like you just said, JT. I think he had 8 tackles.
Oh, I think it was something like that. Yeah, he was up there. I don't have it in front of me.
That was a good sign. That was a good sign. Maybe maybe he's waiting to show off until the game before the Birds. I don't know. Like maybe he's realized he's going to play his former team. He better start playing.
Are you one of those guys that believes in revenge games?
What would be the revenge game? I think
against Baltimore.
I think the real revenge game is Deontay Johnson.
Is that what you're thinking?
There's that part of it too. But Deontay Johnson has done absolutely squat-push all season.
There's way more drama behind Deontay Johnson coming back here.
Yeah, but Deontay Johnson hasn't done anything.
Yeah, but Tomlin kicked him out. There's a lot to be angry about.
I'm not saying there's not revenge there. I'm just saying, do you guys believe in revenge games?
Well, I mean, we saw it. We saw prime example, Saquon Barkley putting up a 183 or something against the Giants, his former team. He looked forward to running all over them. Just didn't want to break the record. He wanted the other guys to play, which was very that was very uncharacteristic of a lot of players. But he wanted the younger guys to play, and he decided the rest. Didn't want to break.
Yeah, and I mean, this just in: Saquon, talent-wise, is probably the best running back in football. Talent-wise,
I don't think that's just in, Rich. He's finally on a good team.
Well, that too. But I'm just saying. I mean, people are acting like they're surprised that Barkley's doing what he's doing. And it's like, guys, the talent is there. The talent has been there. It's just a matter of, do you have a line blocking for you? And do you have an offense that's going to help you succeed around you? And when you got a quarterback like Daniel Jones, and when you have no receiving core until this year in New York, everybody knows, hey, there's 26. That's who we're going after. He ain't beating us. Well, okay. Now you go to a situation in Philly where you've got Hurts and Barkley and Smith and Brown. And I mean, it's like, okay, pick your weapon. Would you rather get punched in the nose, hit with a frying pan, or shot? It's just a matter of what your poison is. Barkley, I think he's going to just go leaps and bounds the next 3, 4, 5 years. I think Derrick Henry is too, as in a whole concept. Maybe not against the Steelers, but as a whole running back in Baltimore situation. I think Derrick Henry got put in the perfect spot. And I can guarantee you he's thanking his lucky stars he's not in Arlington.
1,120 yards to date.
Does he break 2,000?
Let's
I
see.
think he breaks 2. I just don't think he hits the record.
I think
he breaks 2, but doesn't hit the record.
Yeah. Lamar 538, Justin Field 117 yards.
Talk about this.
What's that?
That one extra game is so beneficial when we talk about records. Like every running back has the opportunity to get closer to doing it now.
Well, yeah, with the extra games, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, that was like the argument last year, like the con side to extending Najee's contract was that, like, one of the downsides. Well, yeah, 1,000-yard, and he has a couple firsts, too. First player at his first 3 years to hit 1,000-yard seasons every year. But the other side to that argument is 1,000 yards really that like the goal for running backs to hit these days? Now, what is that? That average is what? 70-some,
64 yards a game.
64 yards a game. That
Adam and I ran off on this on open mic tonight about 2-3 weeks ago. 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving is pedestrian. If you need 1,400 yards is that benchmark. I mean, if you want to talk elite receivers, elite running backs, 1,400 yards, averaging 80, 85 yards a game, now we can talk. Which also cuts down the number of guys that fit into that category, which is what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
The elite is supposed to be the elite.
Right.
That's why it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Very Good, which don't even get me started on that with the NFL or Major League Baseball for that matter. But, it's one of those deals that, if you're going to be a elite, premier, whatever your terminology is going to be, position player, you have to be putting up those premier numbers. Just because 1,000 is a round number, okay, so is 1,500. So let's say 1,500 is the benchmark now instead of 1,000. Should have been the benchmark for a long time.
How about 100 yards a game?
I would even go with 90.
Yeah.
Give me 90 a game. And that puts you right at 1,500 with 17 games.
Yeah. Yeah, like what is that? 1570, something like that.
We don't even have a wide receiver over 1,000 yards yet, do we? I think Jamar Chase is at 982, and he's the leader, right?
Receiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah,
we're through what?
15
10 games. We're going on week 10.
It's 80. It's 88 yards a game.
That's right around the mark. I mean, we're looking at what 18. We're looking at what 1,600 yards for Chase by the end of the year. If this keeps up,
right? And there won't be very many guys with him.
There was a
Jamar Chase is Jamar's at 981. Jefferson's at 8. Say again.
There was 3 and then a drop off.
Well, you got 4 in a drop off. right now.
George-
Well, 5. You got Jamar Chase at 981. You got Justin Jefferson at 831. Then you've got McLaurin at 711. Wilson with the Jets at 704. Flowers at 688. Mooney at 684. Lamb at 681. That's your top 7.
Wasn't George Pickens 8?
Pickens is 9. He's 10 yards behind Drake London, who's 8.
Drake
But
London.
realistically, your top 4 guys could attain 1,500 yards. Garrett Wilson's 4th at 704. So he could, in the last 8 games, get 800 yards and get himself to 1,500, which is fine. You're probably going to have 20 guys at 1,000. But that's 60 yards a freaking game.
Yeah.
And the running game, it's the same way. Because you got, obviously, Derrick Henry's your leader at 1120. Saquon's at 991. Hubbard's at 818. Josh Jacobs is 762. Bijan's at 748. Jahmyr Gibbs at 727. And Kamara at 715. Henry will get 15 with his eyes closed. Barkley's going to get 15 with his eyes closed. Hubbard's got a shot at 15.
I don't know. Jonathan Brooks is due back. I don't know. I don't know how much.
That's why I say he has a shot. But I think everybody else from Jacobs down, they're going to have to really throw it into gear. They're going to have to average 100 yards a game to get to 1,500. But that's where that elite level comes in. Najee's a fine running back. When he came out of Alabama and they drafted him, I was like, okay, great. They got themselves 1,000 to 1,200 yard guy who's probably going to catch balls for another 300. Good deal. I like that pick. Never expected him to be Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley.
We're not getting that
No.
thunder and lightning like we had last year.
Yeah. Here, I found that stat. Najee is the only player in NFL to register 1,000 yards rushing in each of the last 3 years. He's the first player in the league to record 1,000 yards rushing in each of his first 3 seasons since Alfred Morris of Washington in 2012 and through 14.
Mm-hmm. And what made Alfred Morris even more impressive doing that was, who his quarterback was in 12 and 13. Robert Griffin, who also had almost 1,000 yards of both of those years.
Yeah.
My guy, RG3.
RG3. Still follow him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I live in Waco. I covered Robert from the time he was in high school all the way through. Even covered him with the Redskins when I was doing radio in Maryland. I was there when he got hurt both times. So, yeah, I mean, if you've ever been on FedEx Field's turf, you would understand why so many guys get hurt on that field. It's the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Potholes everywhere. So, but Najee is a really good running back. I think he might be the most underrated running back in football. I'll throw that out there.
Sometimes he just seems to, I don't know, sometimes seems to be stubborn about the hole he picked that he's going to run through, and he's just going to run into the back of his own guys anyhow at times. But then you got the Jaylen Warren, the 1-2 punch, who's got a little bit different style and hits the hole in a different way, and maybe a little bit different vision than what Najee has. I mean, he has, it seems like Warren hits the hole quicker and harder, whereas Najee, once he's through the hole, that's when his acceleration begins. He starts high stepping and leaping over people.
If Najee had Le'Veon Bell's vision, he'd be a 1,500 yard back.
Yeah, he would.
He really would.
He really would.
Because the talent is there.
Let me get back to your point, Rich. We were talking about was a revenge game, I guess.
Mhm.
And I'm sure there's some bad blood in Deontay. But let me just read you this quote real quick. This was when asked at his press conference. Tomlin replied about how does this mean with Deontay Johnson coming back?
Yep.
And he says, "quote To be honest with you, I hadn't thought a lot. I thought a lot about it." Tomlin bluntly stated, he, meaning Johnson, is not on a lot of their video. And he said, and so, at this stage of the week, I don't know that I've weighed, what he might mean to that matchup. They have more significant pieces with larger roles that are occupying my attention at this part of the week. So, in other words,
I saw that.
yeah, I'm not worried about that.
By the way, and Adam knows exactly where I'm going with this. How you like our coach now, Mr. 4th and 1?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting, Rich. You know this. I said we were going to do great up until week 10.
He if you don't know this already, JT, he is the biggest Tomlin hater I know.
I'm not a Tomlin hater.
Next to my dad. My dad was a
Not
huge
big fan.
Tomlin hater.
That's it. Just not a big fan. And JT knows this. I've stated my facts of opinion on his show, and he knows this. Yeah. I'm not scared of this. I mean, I'm just not. I'm not a fan of his playoff record since going to the Super Bowl against Green Bay.
Come on, Adam. You're not a fan of mediocre?
No. I'm not a fan of empty trophy cases for regular season. We don't get trophies for it, kids.
There are, and it's funny because they were talking about it the other day on First Take, whenever they made that call on the 4th and 1 call with the hard count and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every person to a man, and you had Stephen A., you had Shannon Sharp, pardon me. You had Jeff Saturday, and you had Dan Orlovsky all on there. And every one of them said, any one of the other 31 teams, with the exception of Kansas City, would trade their coach for Mike Tomlin today.
Yeah.
Every single one of them would trade him for Tomlin, except Kansas City.
Yeah,
that says something.
If 2 years ago, they were calling for Tomlin's head, had Steelers fired him and moved on from him, he would have been with another team within probably a half an hour.
He probably still will be.
Well, I think Tomlin's he doesn't want to be anymore.
Exactly. He's going to be in Pittsburgh, and just like Cowher, until he decides to hang him up.
Till he's done.
I don't have and we've had this discussion a number of times. I have no problem with being a winner every single year. You have a winning record every single season of your career. That says something. You have not had a losing record in 18 years.
Yeah.
Rich, do you see those things in your back right shoulder? I haven't seen one of them since 2006, 8. Well, that's not really winning.
They only give away one a year.
Winning trophies to your right shoulder, Rich. That is winning football. Sitting at home watching the game on your couch in February is not winning football. I don't care what you do in the regular season. He's 1-9 since the loss to Green Bay in the playoffs. He's 1-9 in the playoffs since the loss to Green Bay. He's horrible.
The logic isn't there. The whole thing that I look at with this is get me to the dance. We'll figure it out when I get there. Get me to the dance. He's gotten them there.
Since 2010, only one win, and 9 other teams have figured out that we're here to dance more than you are, and we're going to bounce you in the first round.
Well, let's be honest. Last year, we didn't even really deserve to be in the playoffs.
Well, but like I say, they only give one of those big trophies away.
Right.
So bad. All they had to do was tie, and they both made the playoffs.
Well, in Rich's defense, so we'll say this. In the NFL, it's tough to win year after year after year, with the exception being Big Ben's years, and with the exception being Tom Brady, obviously, and now Mahomes, who's got bubble wrap around him all the time. But I mean, it's tough to win in the NFL year after year after year after year, and not see those drop offs. I mean, you can look back over the last like 5 years and think like Dolphins. I mean, Giants, Jets, how horrible. Remember they had Garcia and some of these quarterbacks. I mean, it's tough year after year after year to post a winning record without that one drop off. I mean, Steeler fans were even rooting for like, hey, is this going to be the year? Maybe something changes. Maybe they're going to do something different if we do have a losing season. And he just keeps kind of finding a way to get past that. So, I mean, in that regard, I do respect him for keeping this team together through thick and thin at times. And let's face it, when you got Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges and you still manage to post a winning season record, I mean, those accomplishments. And even last year with Kenny Pickett and Mitch.
Is going to get him in the can. I get
it. Well, but I mean, you look at some of these coaches.
It's not a team. No, none of those players are going to get in the Canton because Tomlin was 9-8.
None of the players are going to get into Canton because they're not Hall of Fame players.
They're just not putting up the numbers.
But like I'm saying, like the only one that's going to get in the Canton out of there besides Ben and as we learned last night, Jeremy said he might not be a first-round ballot because of the off-field shit. Did you catch that, Rich?
What off-field stuff? No, I didn't. What off-field stuff?
Shit like that. But that's what Jeremy was saying. I think Ben's going to be a first-time ballot. I think they're going to do the smart thing and bring in Ben and Hines in it together to get Pittsburgh the hell out of the way for a while. I think that's what they're going to do.
Just to give you an idea, okay, and I'm looking at these numbers right now. Mike Tomlin currently is 8-10 in the postseason. Okay,
right. He's 1-9.
Putting him
11
doesn't matter. Let's talk about career. Okay,
he's still under 500.
Okay, along with Tony Dungy, Chuck Knox, Marty Schottenheimer, Bud Grant, Don Shula, Pete Carroll, Mike McCarthy, all under 500 for their career in their playoffs. We can even go back to Cowher. Cowher was not super high.
Cowher was above 500.
Bill Cowher was 12-9.
He's above 500.
Barely over 500.
Over 500.
So you would be okay if he had a couple more playoff wins. Still wasn't getting to the Super Bowl, but had a couple more playoff wins.
I'd be okay with having a playoff win since 2011.
We have one.
We have 9 losses too.
How many times in those 9? How many?
I'm sorry. I will lower my expectations and not expect to win in any playoff situation. Is that what you guys want? I mean, it's horrible.
No, but what? Okay, but I'm going to look at this for next week's show. How many of those 9 losses were to the eventual Super Bowl champion?
That'd be good stat.
I'll bet you a bunch of them. I would bet you a bunch of them.
What are we betting?
Or the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. Let's put it that way. I would bet you at least half of those 9 losses are to the eventual Super Bowl representative from the AFC.
Well, no shit. We finished in last place. Well, naturally, we played one of the top teams.
Right. 7th seed.
Okay.
Yeah. Wild card.
No shit, we're going to lose.
All right. Well, speaking of coaches, Tomlin versus Harbaugh. 35
Hey.
times they've faced each other, including playoffs. Which this is interesting. Second most meetings between two opposing coaches in NFL history.
How
Second
many
only
times
to
they be on the same team though?
Curly Lambeau and George Hallis. Green
Does
Bay.
it say how many times like these that the two head coaches have been on the same team meeting each other?
What do you mean?
I guess we go with longevity here after I just bullshitted about it. But like you said that there's coaches above, like two coaches above them.
No,
Like
only
we're
one. Yeah. These
like one.
Tomlin and Harbaugh, second most meetings between two opposing head coaches in NFL history.
I would
And-
know, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like I
Yeah.
was asking, like if they coach the same team, that the guys above them.
Yes.
Well,
Hallis
yeah,
and Lambeau both coached the same teams the whole way through. Yes.
the whole way through.
'Cause
Right.
That's the Bears and the Packers.
And Tomlin has, and I believe Harbaugh has too. He's been the coach.
Yeah.
What-
Yeah, Harbaugh's only been there one less year than Tomlin, I think. And by the way, Harbaugh's only 12-10 in the postseason.
I don't give a shit about. I don't give a shit. I don't care about Baltimore. Screw them.
I don't care about Baltimore either. It's reinforcing a point, is what I'm saying. But no, seriously,
Good. That means Baltimore's not making the playoffs. Good.
the two longest tenured coaches in the NFL are facing off Sunday, Tomlin and Harbaugh.
Yeah, and as they
great
say, man, you could pretty much throw the stats out the window when these AFC North teams come to play.
You can.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, I like the matchup here. Just always seems like Harbaugh pulls. It's like he was coaching the Browns for a minute there. Every time they play the Steelers, he has one of those Browns moments and makes this decision that costs him the game. So
Lamar moment, ain't it?
no, I'm talking about
That,
Harbaugh.
like I said, that Fisher Price car instead of the Lambo.
Yeah.
That's what it just feels like. I don't think Lamar's really had a standout game against us.
I don't believe he has either.
And standout, I mean 300 plus, 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns maybe. But I mean, this was one of those that I always marked on my calendar growing up. I mean, I loved it. Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu. You know, this was a fun matchup to watch.
I got the stats here if you want to see, if you want to hear them.
Go ahead.
His best game was in 2021. He was 23 of 37 for 253, a touchdown and a pick. He's never thrown more than 2 touchdowns in a game against the Steelers. He's thrown at least 1 interception in every game he's ever played against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like I said, we tend to break this guy down.
Had his number, yeah.
And
he has a
66.8
passer rating in 6 games.
Here's one thing I hope that doesn't come back and bite us in the ass. We showed our scheme last week against the Redskins.
We did.
Will they be able to figure that out and beat it? That is something that has to be a concern.
Well, I really don't play a team as often.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that. Go ahead, Rich.
When you play a team as often as you play a divisional team, I don't know that you're really going to show them much new anyway.
Yeah, and I think the whole thing's going to be okay. Well, that's the way we're going to play you. We're going to have somebody on you at all time, and we're going to be chipping the running back every time too. So you're going to have to beat us another way.
There was never really another quarterback that we faced like Lamar until we ran into Jaden Daniels.
Here's another interesting stat. There's only one team that has a better winning percentage against Lamar Jackson than the Steelers do. Can you guess who it is?
Cincinnati.
Nope. AFC
not
team.
Kansas City, is it?
Yes.
Kansas City.
Yes. Kansas City's 800 win percentage against that, 4-1. Steelers 3-1 against Lamar.
Okay.
Okay. I did not know that.
Interesting
Very
stuff.
Rich has I think his lovely wife came in the room to BS with him for a minute.
Okay. No worries. No
I sometimes he lets them make special screen appearances. Sometimes he don't.
Sorry, guys.
Another
At least you did
interesting stat. Hey, I'm just going to keep throwing stuff out there and kind of spin the conversation around it.
Go ahead.
Teams
We're
that
all
open
for stats right there.
teams that opened the season at 6-3 reached the playoffs 73.1% of the time, and won their division 38.9% of the time. Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl 3.6% of the time.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Like if the Ravens win the division, this would be the first time someone's won the division that started 0-3, right?
That's an interesting stat. I haven't seen that one.
I don't think that's right. And won the division?
Yeah.
I don't believe that's right. 92 Chargers. Because that's the team that beat the Steelers in the AFC Championship game.
Tony Martin, baby, down the sideline.
Fucking Gary Plummer.
And here's my question real quick, since you went all the way back there. Would have we had a chance against that Niners offense?
We'd had a better chance than what San Diego did.
Oh, Jerry Rice
Stan
wouldn't have
Humphries had nothing for that defense. I realize it was Neil O'Donnell, but Stan Humphries he had nothing for those guys.
Jerry Rice was on fire that day. 6 touchdowns, I believe, right?
He was. I think our defense would have played a whole. We would not have given up 55 points. I pretty much can guarantee that. 35, maybe. We weren't giving up 55.
JT.
6 teams since 1979 have made the playoffs after starting 0-3, including just one since the year 2000, and none have won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay, maybe my stat was from 2000. Maybe I should have read up on that a little more. I do remember seeing that stat. I don't remember anything from the 20th century, obviously.
And if I remember correctly, didn't one of them make a Super Bowl? They didn't win it, but didn't they make it? No, they didn't.
Good question.
I'm looking at it right now. They all lost in either the wild card or divisional round. By the way, that 92 Chargers team wasn't just 0-3. They were 0-4. And won 11 out of their next 12.
The only team to make the playoffs after an 0-3 start since 2000 was Texans.
Yeah. They won their division. Now that I'm thinking about it.
The AFC South has never, well, I'm not going to say never, but it's a weaker division.
Like the NFC South. Yeah, you're right. It's really weird how it plays out, isn't it? Because like the AFC North, you always know that's going to be a really, really good division. Whoever's at the top of it, but that's a really, really good division. You know the AFC South is going to be,
Just like the NFC North. That's always going to be you're always going to have your Green Bay and your well, now I guess we're throwing the Lions in there. So 3 of the 4 teams are good. The Bears are back to reality. Caleb Williams is what I thought he'd be eventually.
Oh yeah,
I
was right there with you.
JT,
I was a little more I was a little more bombastic in my thoughts on Caleb Williams, but you and I both were on the same page when we said that he was not going to be very good.
Are you a
I
fan,
called him
Jay?
Ryan Leaf, JT.
Oh, that's a low blow, man. Yeah.
He's turning into that end of the year USC Caleb Williams now.
I'm just waiting. Prove me wrong. I think he's Ryan Leaf.
Are you a
And the
Caleb
Peyton
Williams?
Manning out of that whole deal may end up being Jaden Daniels.
I had Jaden. Well, I had the Commanders, so I had Jaden Daniels going to the Commanders in our mock draft we did.
I had Daniels and Nix at the top of my list as far as who I thought would be the best quarterbacks in this draft. I still think Nix is going to be a good quarterback. Really good? I don't know, but man, he reminds me a lot of Drew Brees, and he's got the right coach.
What else you got, Jay? I see you got the wheels turning down there.
Well, let me pose this question to you guys. Or let's say the Ravens offense against the Steelers defense. Who has the edge there?
Go ahead, Rich.
By a
I got him
very
perplexing
slim,
now.
by an extremely slim margin, like 51-49, Steelers defense. Mainly because of just the way they've played this season, the way that Joey Porter has really come into his own. The addition of Preston Smith, the way the linebacking core has really, really solidified itself. That I think that Andrews is not going to be able to do anything. He hasn't done much this year anyway. The pass rush is there. A very slim margin. I'll give it to the Steelers.
Andrews is getting hot. He's had a couple nice games the last 3 games.
Andrews.
Yeah, he's starting to come around finally.
Yeah, but I think the linebacking core and of course Minka, roaming around at safety. I think that's going to be. I think it's going to make a difference.
This guy right here needs to play this week. He needs to not have 12 fantasy points. He needs like a 39-40, couple interceptions. He needs to have a big game. He's not himself yet. He just needs a big game this week.
He needs to change his mindset.
I tuned into a lot of radio discussion about analyzing Minka Fitzpatrick's game today, and I had to agree with both points of it. I mean, the question is, like, what do they have the Steelers have him doing? I mean, he's not a Troy Polamalu type player, and no picks this year so far.
None. It's been very low profile.
So I don't know.
I don't even know. Does he even have 50 tackles?
If not, he's close. I think what Minka has done has been a very good supportive system to the rest of the secondary and to the rest of the defense, where he hasn't been that premier piece that he was when he first came in, even when he was in Miami. But whenever he is making plays and being a part of plays that the team really needs. Tackles, Minka has 51.
51.
Third on the team.
It's been a quiet 51.
Mm-hmm.
What was that stat you brought out last night, Rich? The tackles. Who was that? Threw us all off.
Refresh me.
maybe Jack Campbell. Remember, Jeremy brought that out last night. He brought up Jack Campbell.
Oh yeah. When we were talking about Jack Campbell, yeah, and he was second on the team behind Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, and
I tell you what, though, the guy to me for this, and he's really come into his own the last couple of weeks, is Beanie Bishop.
Yes.
You know, if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, and Porter does with Flowers what Porter can do with Flowers, it's going to be a long, long day for the Ravens.
I was just going to say, like, what do we do? Do we pin to stop Lamar? Do we pin to stop Derrick Henry? How do we, like, my question is, are we going to be able to contain both of them? Because, I mean, they are a force to be reckoned with. Whenever they're running the ball, it's very hard to stop both of them.
You know what? The Steelers' way is they're not going to shut them down completely, but they're going to minimize. Boy, I'm getting a really bad echo here.
Yeah, I'm getting one too.
Shit, I'll raise it up.
Is
that better?
They got to find a way to just minimize the damage.
Well, it's back. Back. Yeah, go back.
Is that better?
I think so. No, I got a little bit, but not a whole lot. But JT, I don't know about you, man, but I think Queen is going to be the spy on Lamar. And I really think that it's just going to be a matter of the corner, the DBs will be able to take care of the receivers. Henry's going to be the one that I'm just kind of like, okay, but if Henry's the only weapon that gets us, okay, I just can't let everybody get us.
Exactly. Yeah. Minimize the damage. You got to take one of those. At least if you're going to, you got to take at least one of them out of the equation.
Like we said earlier, if Cal Hamilton doesn't play this game, I think we're going to be able to air it out. I think Calvin Austin is going to have another big game this week. I don't think they're going to be able to stop. I think someone's going to be wide open underneath all day, and I think it's going to be Calvin Austin.
All right, so I'm going to have to on the. I can hardly hear myself.
Yeah.
So if we give the edge to the Steelers defense, let's flip the field, and let's say Ravens defense against the Steelers offense.
Steelers offense.
I think it all depends what Cal Hamilton does, if he plays or not.
I don't think it matters.
I think Cal Hamilton makes that big of a world of difference. Because we saw what happened when Cal Hamilton was in that game against the Bengals, and then we saw what happened once Cal Hamilton got hurt. All of a sudden, the Bengals were able to air that ball out completely. Once Cal Hamilton went out of that game. So I think Cal Hamilton is the big answer to this question. And today he did not practice, like I said earlier. So I think this is going to be the key factor to the game. If Cal Hamilton plays, it's going to be a little bit tougher to air it out. If he doesn't play, I think we're going to be able to air it out all day.
I don't know that that's 100% right, though. Because you look at Cincinnati's number 2 and number 3 receivers, or Mike Gesicki and Tyler Erden. Okay. When you look at what the Steelers have for their 3 in Austin Williams, whether Hamilton plays or not, if Hamilton shuts down Pickens, okay, great. Mike Williams is there, Calvin Austin is there, that can still burn you. Cincinnati, no T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd's in Tennessee. They don't have that 2 and 3 that they've had previously. I think that's where the big difference is. That it doesn't matter if Hamilton plays or not. The big difference in if Hamilton plays or not is what Pickens' numbers are going to be.
I just stated my own personal opinion, but that's
No. I can understand where you're coming from.
I don't. Is there still a big echo?
Yeah, big echo.
Yeah.
Big echo.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm leaning that big too. I like the Steelers offense against the defense. I like what Arthur Smith has been doing. I've seen adjustments made throughout the game, and that's encouraging. And I think we got the talent too. As you know, as Russ continues to expand the playbook. Yeah, he's finding receivers that are open.
Is that better, guys? I started playing with some buttons on my mixer.
Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. We good?
No, I'm coming back strong.
I'm getting some. Yeah.
But you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah. The crazy part is we're not echoing. It's just when we're talking, it's echoing.
So it might not even be my fault.
Yeah, DJ said when I and Big Rich talk, you're not feeding back.
So I don't hear any echo. That's the thing.
You're not hearing that. Wow.
No, I don't hear any echo. We had echo last night too, so I don't know what the problem is.
Could be a StreamYard thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're back to what you were saying, JT.
Oh, I just thought they were gonna expand the playbook a little bit more, and I think we're gonna take advantage of Baltimore's defensive weaknesses.
Well, boys, what more? Let's hear player of the game. Let's run that route. Defense, offense. Either
Okay,
one.
Rich.
Player of the game. Oh wow. Wow. Queen.
Question today.
I like that guess. How about on offense? Rich?
Offense. You know, I like Adam's choice of Austin, but I gotta go Williams. Give me Williams.
Second game in on a new team.
I'm going Calvin Austin. I am sticking with Calvin Austin. I think this is his game this week. After that stupid drop ball we had last week, I think it's Austin's game this week.
Oh, that certainly would be cool to watch. How about on defense? Adam?
On defense, I am thinking Cam Hayward, just because he's been in this rival forever.
I like those picks. I'm gonna say.
We actually have a comment that's leaving a player of the game down there, boys.
DJ.
Yeah.
Likes Russ. Patrick Queen. There you go.
Rich, so go ahead, JT. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm gonna say. I did like Patrick Queen. I say number 50. Roberts is gonna have a big game. And I like Beanie and special team splash play again.
Calvin Austin.
Yeah. Speaking of splash plays. I don't think we've seen the last return for a touchdown. He smells blood now.
I like Calvin Austin coming whenever we drafted him. I did. So, Rich, what are your thoughts over there? Who are you thinking on defense? No, you had a minute to think about it.
No. Defense, I'm still going Patrick Queen. I think Benny Bishop is going to have a game too. But give me Queen.
That'll be sweet.
Are the Steelers winning?
Sir?
Are they winning?
Are the Steelers winning?
Yeah. What's your score predict?
Give me Steelers. Don't know why the number popped in my head right out of the box. 34-17.
Ooh.
Blowout. JT, I know you are probably going to do your predictions tomorrow night, huh?
We are, but I'll throw one out there. I like the Steelers to win this by an edge. And I'm going to say 24-21. Pull it up. Boz delivers at the end.
Boz, the land of Boz.
DJ going 28-17.
See that. I'm feeling 35-24. I think the Steelers do win this game.
Wow.
But then again, if Kyle Hamilton plays, I think it makes a world difference. But right now, he did not practice, so I'm making my judgment off of that note right there. Listen, I'm a Kyle Hamilton fan. I've liked him throughout Notre Dame. I wanted the Steelers to take him just so I didn't have to cheer for him anywhere else. So
So he goes to the biggest rival.
Right. Now I got to be a fan, and I'm like, I can't help it. I like the kid, and I liked him in college, and I just thought he was.
I understand. I'm a Micah Parsons guy.
You're gonna get a Dallas jersey of that, aren't you?
Oh, I've got a Jones jersey that I don't mind wearing. I will represent Too Tall. That's my guy. I don't mind representing Too Tall. He's a super good guy. I've worked with him a few different times. I'll do that. That's no big deal. Because I'm not guaranteeing Washington wins that division, but they're sure as hell going to make a run at it.
JT, do you have a team you absolutely just can't stand?
A team I can't stand?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're playing them this weekend. I absolutely despise the Ravens.
Dude, it was so fun watching this rivalry growing up. I mean, it was just a blast.
Oh, the days of Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu.
Rice.
I think it's safe to say this rivalry is probably top three in the NFL.
Has to be.
If not at the top.
Probably Bears, Packers, number one, right?
Maybe.
Dallas and Washington.
Yeah, but there's been so many years that Washington was the nail and Dallas was the hammer. It kind of loses its effect for a rivalry whenever you pound the salt out of somebody every year. Don't you think?
I'm talking division rivalry or conference rivalry?
I guess I should have been more specific. Sorry.
Well, rivalry in general. I think Kansas City, Oakland, or Las Vegas is a huge rivalry.
Yeah, but that's division.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be, just the rivalry in general.
Well, you could even go back and say Steelers, Raiders,
Steelers, Raiders, yeah.
Steelers, Patriots.
Steelers, Cowboys.
True.
It's always funner whenever two teams play each other twice though a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Dallas San Francisco is a huge rivalry.
Oh, so do I.
I think that's probably Dallas' biggest rivalry right now, maybe outside of Philly.
Okay. Well,
here's an interesting. Hold this up. From Record Breakers to Hall of Famer. Look at the most notable rivalries in NFL history. Raiders, Steelers, Giants, 49ers, Cowboys, 49ers, Patriots, Colts, Packers, Bears.
Ooh, that Manning and Brady matchup, that was always fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, in that time frame, that might have been the biggest rivalry in that time frame. Even bigger than Steelers, Ravens.
It wasn't bigger whenever I was cheering for the Steelers.
But just the bad blood, the what was coming out of the result of the game. Because how many times did the number one seed in the AFC or the Super Bowl, whatever, was coming out of that game?
Has Dallas San Fran kind of like lapsed a little bit though through the years?
Well, yeah, when they did the ones that I rattled off there. The Raiders, Steelers, 70-80, Giants, 49ers, 90, Cowboys and 49ers, 92 through 95. Patriots, Colts, 2010.
So the Steelers and Ravens weren't on there?
They weren't on this list.
Then they must have missed something.
Yeah, really.
It's one of the hardest fought games of the week. People were like, some of the players were hoping to play it on Thursday so they would have them as a full 10 days to recover.
Yep.
That rivalry was
major rivalry. You got Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Washington, Philly, Kansas City, Buffalo, and there was one other one, and Seattle, San Francisco.
That game's this weekend too, right?
Say again.
Is that this week, Mahomes and Allen?
Yeah, Kansas City, Buffalo. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of good games on the docket this week.
There is.
So JT, Rich brought up thinking if they clinch the division, will Kansas City sit their players?
No, I said they clinched the one seed.
Early, you mean?
Yeah, I think Kansas City 2 folds into that game against the Steelers. They could very easily be 15-1 walking in, 14-1 walking into that game, and have the one seed locked up. The other part of it is the third game in 10 days. Far and away the most they're going to have the rest of the season and most season period. So if they're not playing, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Andy Reid, in essence, gives a lot of these guys Christmas off.
Got quiet there.
Yeah, we were just curious what you thought about Rich's thoughts on Christmas Day, right there, JT.
I wouldn't be surprised. If they did. Maybe throw them out there for series. Maybe not. I don't.
Might we see Carson Wentz?
Probably.
Bad on.
Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you having me on the show for reaching out, man.
I just saw your comment.
Yeah, glad to connect with you. I'm gonna have to jump here, but appreciate the time, man. As always.
All right, Rich or JT, how people get a hold of you, buddy?
Check us out, SteelersChicks.com. We're gonna be on Facebook, on Twitter, and our YouTube channel. All the links are SteelersRun.com. Catch us on Mondays for post game and Thursdays for pre game.
Are you still doing the Thursday night thing? You guys were doing some kind of like live broadcast somewhere.
Yeah, we were doing that PS stuff. But we just stick with our own thing now, really.
All right, I wasn't sure. You guys were all over the place last we talked.
Yeah. We thought we'd reach out. News, but that thing's mostly botched these days.
All right. Well, just to let you know, we do this every Wednesday. Jay, if you want to jump on, or I'll text you in the morning and ask you. You're always welcome to come on. If you want to bring any of your crew, they're welcome to come on too.
Appreciate that, man.
I'm grateful you came on tonight and BS with us for a little bit. And thank you for coming on, sir.
Certainly. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
great to meet you, buddy.
Good to meet you, JT. Look forward to it again.
Let's go Steelers.
Yes, sir.
All right. Catch you later.
All right, Rich. Well, that was
All right,
JT
man.
at the
All right, man.
Realms podcast. Always knowledgeable, always good stuff. Go check out some of his episodes before. He did have Bill Hillgrove on, so he's had some good guests on his show.
Cool. And see, my echo's gone. Well, it's delayed.
I don't hear it.
I'm getting it.
I don't hear it.
I don't know why I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
JT mentioned something about turning your speakers down a little bit.
You got my speakers down to like 30%.
Your guess is as good as mine, brother.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, man, I got a bug too.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if you wanted to go on or call it a night, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a crazy last few days, man, and tomorrow's gonna be nuts. So yeah, we did what, almost an hour and a half tonight. It's been great. JT was great. Some really good talk.
Yeah, there's 4 of them, Rich, on this channel. So
Say again.
he has 4 people on his channel.
Nice.
That's why I said if you wanted to, those guys are all awesome. I like BSing with those guys. They're all pretty good guys. Yeah. So, how do people get you?
On Twitter, we're calling it this week. It's Go Big, Go Home Pod. Or on Facebook, it's just my name, Rich Richardson. Let's chop it up. Whether it's NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever sports, wrestling, NASCAR, you name it. Let's talk about it.
Let's go. You can get me at Sports Talking It on the X. Also, you can find us on Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube, obviously. A lot of good stuff going on over there lately. Yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in. Gratefullians are all here. It's going to all comment. Don't be afraid to come over and comment. We're not going to bite your head off. Obviously, you see that, we talk with the guys out there and girls if they chime in. So, hey, everybody have a good night, and we will talk later.